My name is Jules,
And I'm Chanel.
and welcome to Mama Play That Again, where we take one for the team and watch the same kid shows on a loop, so you don't have to. Join us, two queer Black mamas, as we dish out our hilarious hot takes on what's playing nonstop in your toddler's world, helping you serve up. Hi, I can read. Helping you serve
Hello.
up screen time with a side of wisdom.
So, before we get into our first segment, we have a guest with us today. So,
Yes, I would like to introduce you to my amazing BFF and fellow Black mama, Tiffaney Tate. Woo! Wait, hold on. I gotta get my clapping together. Come on,
maybe,
you guys.
okay.
Can you hear me?
Clap, 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 clap. Should we edit that? Okay. Oh, is that a lecture hall? Wow. What the hell?
Thank
I
you
know.
for that thunderous
Wow, I
applause,
can't wait for this.
Exactly. I
I
didn't know.
have to run up from at the end of the theater and just run all the way up, really excited.
Accept an award, apparently.
Exactly. I'm
Well,
ready. Well,
well,
hello,
we're so happy to
hello.
have you here.
Thank you. So excited to be here. I spent a lot of time talking about my kids, so let's do it some
Yeah,
more.
you're at the perfect place. Okay, so we
Let's
like
do it
to
on
begin.
Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's all right, so before we even begin our show review, we like to begin our podcast with a segment we're calling Tales from the Crib, where we share anything from a funny thing our toddler did or said, or go a little deeper and talk about a parenting woe we may have experienced and need to vent about, or may need your advice on. So, is there anything on your end, Tiffany or Jules? Want to start? That's I, okay.
I mean, I can go first. I'll just share a little fun thing. In our house, we watch a lot of Steph Curry Warriors games. So, at a certain point, I was like, damn, we watch Steph Curry so much and we talk about Steph Curry so much. Like, is Nisa gonna think that that's like her father?
True Bay Area baby. We're like,
That
oh,
is
Steph
true.
Curry's my dad, guys.
No, we talk about him so much, you would think he's like a family member. So I think about it a lot because he comes up a lot in conversations. And even like in her imaginary playtime, she'll be like, "Oh, Steph Curry's here." Like
But in
dolls.
defense of your child, could you understand that maybe your brother looks kind of like Steph Curry? So
Oh,
there
that's a
I
could
good
be
one.
that
That's a good
know.
that
one.
that crossover.
I know. The crossover is
Uncle
very
Steph. Uncle
Uncle
Yes.
Steph,
Steph.
yeah.
I know. I know. I mean, it's good to have imaginary friends, but I don't know about imaginary relatives. But that's like that's the line we're towing right now. So yeah, that's my story. I'll update you all if she ever asks if Steph
Meets
Curry is
her
related.
daddy.
Yeah. Is that my daddy?
Aisha's standing there like, what?
What?
Uh, what?
No, BT Dubs, I just want to say I love Aisha Curry. She gets a bad rap. I don't understand why. People just be
Haters,
hating.
haters. Come
Hating.
on, it's just haters. Yeah.
Come
Is it
on.
because she's from Canada? I don't know.
Oh,
Oh, Canada. Okay.
Oh, Canada.
all right. What
Tiff,
about you, Tiff?
what you got?
Well, as I mentioned previously, I'm still dealing with some PTSD from Halloween. Full transparency, my kids are no longer toddlers. They are 8 and 10, so they're a little bit older. But so I can just preview what you guys will be expecting to see in the future. But as I mentioned, Halloween is always it's an exciting time, right? It's the kids are just juiced from the beginning, and so the morning of Halloween, my son wanted to be a blow up costume, so he wanted those inflatable costumes. I see them everywhere. They were super cute. I was like, sold. Less work on me because I am one of
Dude,
those.
get him a Missy Elliott one. That's the one that has the option. Whenever
Oh, that would have
he
been
gets a bold
awesome.
one, I'm just like, you should just paint that black.
Exactly.
Boop, boop.
Exactly. So I was super juiced because I was for a long time that parent that was like making everybody's costume and all that other stuff, and I had to relinquish that control. But so that morning, Halloween morning, everyone is like up in the morning. I'm currently in the shower, fully like showering, and the shower curtain just flies back. And my son is standing there in the bathroom with the costume
Oh
on,
my
and he's like,
gosh.
"The zipper broke." And it was just like, from
Oh my
that
God.
point, it was just like, my heart rate is 1,000. I'm like, so I got to figure out this zipper, because the zipper is integral to this costume working. If the zipper doesn't work, it doesn't inflate, all this other stuff. So I literally had to be like, Daxton, go put it on my bed. I'll deal with it. Let me finish my shower.
Let me put on a
So I
towel.
literally dry off, run to the bedroom. I pull out like my sewing skills. I'm refiguring this freaking zipper. I get it to work with some duct tape. I literally took it apart. Got the zipper back on, got some duct tape. I was like, Daxton, like, for real, be careful with this today. Like, he's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So at that point, it has a little fan inside with batteries. And I was like, you know what? If the zipper's not going to work, then the fan's going to go out, right? Like, at this point, it's like, I know something's going to go wrong. So I was like, grab some batteries. He's like, okay, okay, mom. So at this point, I'm like drying off, like running out the door. We're like trying to get to school on time. And I'm like, Daxton, grab those batteries. He's like, yeah, okay. So then we get in the car. And I hear him with the costume again, fidgeting with it. And I was like, I'm just focusing on trying to get to school on time and not
Wait,
run any.
do you have to sit in like a car seat? Does he have to sit in a car seat, or is he like big enough that he can just sit regular?
No, I gave birth to an actual giant, so he doesn't need a car seat nor a booster. He's just a huge child. I mean, I think legally he can sit in the front seat. I don't know. I mean, he's huge.
He's definitely like at that age where he can be in the back of a pickup truck. And
Yeah, like he might even be able to buy beer. I don't know. He's like a very large child. So anyways, I hear him in the back seat, like fidgeting with this costume. And I'm just like, oh, okay. So I get to school and I'm like, throw the doors open. I'm like, okay, guys, have a good day. And then and then Daxon's like, Mommy, turn around. He had put the costume on over the freaking seatbelt. And I was like, like frustration, like anger just rises. So I had to get out of the car, get him out of go open the door, remove the costume, get the seatbelt, all this other stuff. So then in the door, I see the batteries. So I'm like, pick up the batteries. I'm like, okay, Daxon, you got to take these with you. In the brouhaha, somehow drop the batteries down into the bottom of the costume. So now we have to take the costume off again to get these batteries. And I looked at him and I'm like, Daxton, give me your backpack so I can put these batteries in there. And he's like, oh, this forgot his backpack.
Who needs it at this point?
I was just like, I'm going to lose it. So I just had to text my friends at that one. I was like, listen to what this kid did. My anxiety was so high. I got to work. I was like, I had to drink a coffee, look out the window for a few minutes and just be like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
You had to listen to your binaural beats at work because that was the only thing dude, I can't drink coffee if I'm already having anxiety. That's that's a recipe.
I just hope the costume was worth it. Like, did he win something at school? Like,
That's a great question. And I mean, I think that's something I'm going to have to think about in future. Like, costumes.
Is it
Are
worth
they worth it?
Let me work it.
Yes.
What do you think now?
What would Missy do?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Missy would just wear a garbage bag. That's what Missy would do.
Anyone with holes in it.
Right? They do at school. They do like a little parade, and then that's it. Like, what is the commitment level from parents? Yes.
What's the photos?
Yeah, the photos. I mean, that is kind of worth it. I feel like I still have photos of us, Tiff, when we were younger.
Oh,
yes.
By the way, Tiff and I have known each other since we were. Oh God, so young. We were the only like Black kids in the whole
middle school.
City.
Is this Sasha and Condi in the full effect?
Yeah. Tiffany is definitely like Sasha and Condi for sure.
I feel like Jules is the only other mixed person I knew that I wasn't like directly related to. I was like, there's more of us.
We were out here, boo. Oh my God. Black dad, white mom, fucking represent.
The original mixed kids.
The original mix, not like these new mixed kids with black moms and white dads.
Yes.
New shit.
No, we did it the originals. Like when people saw us with their eyes were like, what? I'd be like, Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we haven't even gotten to my stories about having a white stepdad, but you can imagine.
Ooh.
Or having a white mom and they pick you up from school and they be like, "Is that your nanny?" What?
So y'all need a whole podcast. Because I feel like they now have commercials for y'all where they like validate y'all with a black
I
dad and a white
know.
mom now
Dude,
everywhere.
there's so much validation for
Yeah.
different kinds of families, except for queer ones, which we'll get into later. But
That's a
more on
true,
that later.
that's a really good, anyway, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let me share mine
Yeah.
so we can get into the review real quick. I don't have an official one. This moment literally just happened while he was eating his lunch, where I realized that I'm at that point in my mom stage where I think you guys are probably have already reached, where I feel like I'm two different people. So I had a moment where I didn't want him to touch the trash can. So it wasn't rude or it wasn't yelling. It was very firm. And he started crying. And then 2 seconds later, we're going through a book and I'm like, it's okay. I have this baby talking. I'm like, who am I? Like, is this okay? I feel like two different people came out of me and I had to sit with that for a good hour. I'm like, am I being real with him? Is this authentic when I give him this baby cuddly talk? Well, I have to. It feels good. I don't know. I just had a whole
It
moment. I'm still
is.
kind of sitting in that where I'm like, I'm really two different people sometimes, but you have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
I've
bad
been
because he
feeling that
cried,
lately
but
too because she's been wanting me to play with her a
hmm
lot. But I'm like, I have to clean up, I have to cook, I have to
it's
do this, and then it's like, play. I'm
it's
like, yo,
extremes. They're two
this is too
extremes.
much.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
I think you'll encounter another mom personality once your kids get
Mm.
into sports. That's another
Oh, I can't wait.
personality,
I actually can't
Ooh,
wait for that.
the
what's
competitive
that like,
mom.
Tiff?
It's rough. It's interesting because you know what your kid can do,
Mm.
and then you have high expectations of the other kids, but then you forget that they're like 8. And you're expecting like a certain level and you're like, "Where's the layup? Come on, guys, where's the pass?" I just was in San Ramon this weekend. My son played in a soccer tournament and we were just where I had to take laps around. I had to go stand by myself because I was getting too competitive.
You got to be
And
the
I was
example. I love it.
yeah, and I'm like, I don't I you kind of think about like, should I just push this kid down next to me who when he's running by, it's like a lot of layers. So
Yeah,
and then you're trying to set an example. So I understand the mom personalities. There's a lot.
Yeah, I'm still sitting with that. That was the first time it happened. I'm like, what? Shit. That was a quick
yeah,
little switch up. But it,
Ooh, yes.
anyway,
All right.
all
Well,
right.
let's get into this next segment, which I'm very excited for. So this week we're talking about Molly of Denali. Excuse me, let me say that again, like I don't have tons of saliva in my mouth. Molly of Denali, an animated series that follows the daily adventures of 10-year-old Alaska native Molly Mabray, her family, her dog, Suki, and her friends Tui and Trini. Also, Molly's mother is a pilot and she helps her parents run their local store.
This is a PBS kids show produced by Atomic Cartoons in association with WGBH Kids, created by Dorothea Gillum and Kathy Wow. This show is the first nationally distributed kids program to feature a main character who is Alaska Native and of the Athabascan peoples, who were the original inhabitants to the interior of Alaska.
Yeah, and to ensure both authenticity and respect to the subject matter, the producers brought on cultural advisors, Dewey Hoffman being a major advisor.
So they try to feature 5 Alaska Native words or phrases in each episode and highlight traditional rural activities such as dog mushing and canoeing.
Which is probably why Molly of Denali won a Peabody Award and was nominated for an Emmy Award.
Most definitely. And even more, it's probably why the show has received positive responses from Native children and their families. So kudos to the producers for doing it right. So anyway, each episode has 2 10 to 12 minute vignettes, and we're reviewing the pilot episode titled Grandma's Drum.
Grandpa's. Do you say grandma?
Grandpa's Drum. Yes, we are
Grandpa.
not changing their gender. Thank
So
you.
in this episode, Molly finds an old photo of Grandpa as a child and is shocked to see him singing and drumming because Grandpa never sings. When Grandpa tells her he lost his songs when he gave his drum away, Molly goes on a mission to find his drum and return his songs to him.
So that's the show setup. Let's go ahead and get into it. What are your initial hot takes, Jules or Tiffany? whomever wants to jump in about the overall show or the series.
Well, this is my first experience with Molly from Denali, and I have to say it it reminds me of like kind of the Dora the Explorer kind of I don't know,
Yeah.
framework, right? Where you're getting an introduction to something, you're getting introduction light, right? So it's like, hey, this is this whole thing, Alaska. So on the surface, I really did enjoy it, quite frankly,
Hmm.
because it's nice to see just different faces, different cultural experiences, different things on TV, especially in this kind of venue when I don't know how your guys' kids are, but like my kids used to watch things over and over and over
Yes.
again. And so it was
The
nice
rope.
to have a different subject matter versus like Dora, where we're just like we hit the same things again and some of
Yeah.
my other things. So I liked it. But you know, it's just like as you get older, you can't help but like look through it like the adult lens and be like, this is like tragedy light,
Really.
Trauma
That's
light.
true. That's true.
trauma
That's
light. Like,
and it was within the first couple of minutes, right? Like it was like,
mm-hmm.
oh,
Yeah. I okay. I'm gonna go on record and say Molly of Denali is definitely one of my favorite shows. Just outright, I think it's done so thoughtfully. And not all the episodes are like this grandpa's drum. They're not they're not all
heavy
uh heavy on Native American
trauma.
trauma. Yeah. It's not that heavy on it. But this episode, we'll get into it later, but honestly, like every time I watch it, tears. Like my eyes start watering up. I'm just like, yo, they did this so well. And yes, I start like tearing up towards the end, but they did such an amazing job of paying homage to like this part of their culture that was very violently taken away from
Hmm.
them. And I thought they just did a good job. It's hard to do that in a cartoon, and they did that. So
No.
overall, I we haven't even gotten to our grading system yet, but you already
It's a
know
way to
where my head's at.
No, I honestly, I'm where you are, Jules. I actually, I feel like I'm probably the hard critic of the two of us. I probably have one critique, honestly, and it's going to be a funny critique, but I just freaking love the organic nature of how they incorporated the traditional songs and the language. It just felt so, I felt that part of their family and their culture in a way that wasn't invasive. So
Mhm.
it's beautiful. I can't wait for us to talk about the episode in particular
Yeah. So
and to
I
get a
want
hot.
to get into this first clip, which is when Molly and her friend Tui, yeah, Tui find this photo of their grandpa or of Molly's grandpa, and she has questions. So let's listen to her.
Okay, let's see what you got.
It's a picture of you. At least I think it's you. You're singing with a little girl.
Oh, that's me, all right. From a long time ago.
How come I've never heard you sing? You should sing with us at the show tonight.
Sorry, Sequoia. I don't sing anymore.
But how can you not sing? Everybody sing!
So what are your thoughts on this one?
I was just distracted because, like I said, I haven't seen this show before, so I was just distracted by the drawing of their faces. Like, I like how they look, but their heads are a little oblong. Is that
The
like,
grandpa's head is,
yeah, the shapes of their. I know it's cartoon and
this
like
is
it's
not the
supposed.
best animation, I would say.
Yeah, I was like kind of distracted, so I know that was like an important segment. Like when I was distracted by their faces. But I mean, I guess, right? Like we're trying to, you know, I don't know. So yes, but I do think that it is interesting that she's talking about singing and she's like, everyone likes to sing in like a very traditional European kind of way. And they're talking about native singing. Like native people would never sing like that, right? Because they use like a different tone and all that other stuff. So I was like,
I mean, yes. And, to her credit and everyone else's credit in this show, everyone's been influenced by the Europeans,
Yeah.
by the colonizers. So here we are.
Willingly, yeah.
Definitely unwillingly. Yeah, I like this clip. They got into it pretty fast. We got to the conflict real quick. Grandpa, why don't you sing? He just has a deep sigh and he's like, I don't really know how to tell you about these really messed up schools that I had to go to. So I'm going to let you go on your own adventure to figure it out.
Yeah, it was a short adventure.
It was
just went to the mom. Yeah, but the mom had all the words, so yeah.
Well, was it the mom? I think it was the grandpa's friend in the photo, right?
Oh,
Yes.
well, they went to the mom to find out why.
Oh, they went to the mom.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And
And
then
are we perpetrating the stereotype that all people look alike because they literally took the photo and went to the city and they were like, we
I'm
found
just
her.
gonna say it was the glasses. I'm just
I know,
and the long braid. She had the same hairstyle since.
I know.
Exactly.
Same
I was like,
hairstyle 50 years later. But you know what? Braids are always going to be in. People always have glasses. Oh my God.
And that town was not crowded, so it was.
That is fair.
It was easy
That's
to
fair.
locate.
yes.
Which means they didn't migrate in all that time. That's incredible.
Well, it wasn't a bustling city. I don't know.
It wasn't a bustling
Good.
city then. It's not a bustling city now.
Yeah.
This is Alaska, there's just like, we keep it here.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. They also have those things at the end of each show where they show like native kids.
Mhm.
Or actually they're not always native, maybe. I'm not sure.
There's a mixture of
Yeah. Of kids in Alaska that's really sweet. And I like that Molly and Denali is definitely like on the computer and using her encyclopedia a lot. So
yeah, she has a vlog. I think that's kind of their device, that she has a vlog like ask me about life in Alaska, and so that's kind of I guess what she's doing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which is an upgrade from, I don't know if you guys have gone down the Disney road and done Victorious. Victorious is a Disney show that the kids watch, where she also has like social media and a vlog, and it's kind of just asshole shit that she says about other people at her school. Wait till you get to Victorious.
It's like Gossip Girls.
It's kind of, I think it's kind of like that. Like they have these pear products instead of apple products, and like every time they're in like a situation, she's like updating. She's just like, what it's like to be the last person picked, and you're just like,
oh God, this sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, but low key, I do not like most of Disney's programming. I'm just gonna go out on a limb. We're definitely not going to get that Disney sponsorship because your girl is not here for.
We're not about to sell out. No,
we're not about to sell out.
Oh my goodness! When you're ready to talk about it, let me know. I have thoughts. But yes, Disney is. But I mean, I cannot just tell you this though. I don't know if you can circumvent it. It is so ingrained in deep. Like, I don't know if you can pass it.
Yeah, I know, because my mom had my daughter listen to or watch Beauty and the Beast, and we still haven't made a full recovery. I mean, it's to the point where niece is like, do I need to like kiss an animal to like be loved? And I'm just like, fam, the level of messaging is just out of control. This is like a real question she asked before bed one night, and I was like, because it was between that and to watch Princess and the Frog, and I was like, fam, like this is, the animal kissing, like I can't. How do I explain that?
But
like,
in defense
of to explain sexism and patriarchy, like now I have to explain that these animals will not find you love. Like you have love right here in this family, and with Steph Curry.
And with yourself. That's the thing. It's telling you to go outside of yourself and your family to find.
Yeah.
Or your species when,
that part.
or your species.
Most importantly.
When you give up your voice to have legs to meet a man. I mean, Layers.
Oh,
Well, what would you
Layers.
do to meet a man? Okay.
yeah, I'm jumping in the
I would
water.
literally give my voice to the sea
Out of the
witch.
water.
Oh my God, there's so many like that. Beauty and the Beast, Princess and the Frog, and Little Mermaid. Like the women like basically have to give up a limb to find love. And it's like, fam.
But we haven't even discussed, I mean, that's a whole nother show. How about the amount of mom death in Disney?
Ooh.
Ooh, I need to catch up because I haven't. I just know when the dad death in Lion King, but I don't know. Was the mom alive?
Belle from Beauty and the Beast, her mom is dead. She only had her dad. Little Mermaid, her mom is dead. She only has King Triton. Let's
Oh.
see, Cinderella. No, which the Seven
Stepmom.
Well, yeah,
Dwarfs?
'cause she's a stepdaughter.
Yeah.
Yes, stepdaughter, mom death.
Snow White, mom death?
I think so. Snow
This
White
is
and the Seven
troubling.
Dwarfs, right? Shh.
I don't remember a mom.
The Princess and the
Tangled.
Frog, it's dad death.
Oh,
So that's
okay.
a little flip.
What about malnificence or whatever? Didn't like that person's mom die, and now she was the mother, stepmom. Anyway,
Maleficent.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
a whole nother tangent. We
Yeah,
can
it
talk
is, but
about
that's a good one.
mom death.
It's a
That's a
good
good one.
tangent.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, do we have another soundbite?
Yes, we
Picky,
do.
picky.
Okay, here we go.
Wow.
This is why Grandpa doesn't drum. This is when they actually find the girl in the picture and they explain why she doesn't drum.
If he loves singing so much, why did he give you his drum?
At the school, we weren't allowed to sing the songs of our people. It was forbidden. They only wanted us to sing new songs, their songs, in English. We were made to feel bad about who we were, of the way our people did things. Your grandfather, he did not like that. He was proud of his family. He loved our traditions. So your grandpa, he said, if I can't sing our songs, I just won't sing anymore. Ever. A lot of kids did the same. That's why so many of us stopped using our language and singing our songs.
I'm so sorry that happened to you and to Grandpa.
Thoughts?
Well, the way that they make exactly. I like how I'm thankful that they just went in with like a don't speak, speak English, not speak English, and not like really what the schools were doing, where it's like, hey, erase your entire culture and not be.
Hey, cut off your hair. Hey, mass burials. But yeah, we're not even going to get into that. I'm going to just tell you about that one part where they wouldn't let us sing our songs. Ugh.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, right? It's like, what do we want? Do we want them to be so real that our kids' eyebrows get blown off? Or do we want, I mean, I don't know if I really need them watching this and then like crying themselves to sleep every night about,
I mean, this is kind of why I feel like I love Molly of Denali, because I feel like they did such a good job of, again, trauma light, like not going so hard on the trauma and just focusing on one part of it.
Yeah.
So I do feel like there's some mastery in that, right? To be able to tell a story that is like an awful, awful story of colonization, but to be able to do it for a young audience. That's why I'm just like, yo, Peabody Award, Emmy Award, Grammy Award, Billboard Music Award goes
But on
to.
the other hand, I wonder though if we are setting the bar at a wrong spot, because for kids, if they think that it was just like, oh, we just didn't let them speak their language, are they going to go forward in life thinking like this is how painful it, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to oversell it, but I don't want to undersell it too, right? Like I want kids to understand like this was a horrible thing that happened. So I don't know. I get what they're doing. I appreciate what they're saying, but I hope that maybe this will just lay the foundation that in further future, these kids do a little more research and be like, the trail of tears, you said? Oh, okay.
Wait, Andrew Jackson's on the 20? Oh, wait, I
Oh.
don't even use cash anymore. So I guess it doesn't really matter.
That's my hope. I hope this just opens the door to, a little bit about the diaspora, not just like, I hope that this is not the end all be all for some kids, because I wonder if they're just like, why are you so sad, Molly? Like, my culture was ripped from me.
Yeah. No, I mean, again, I personally think they did it masterfully. If it was any more deep, it's like nightmares, basically.
But we're also kind of, I think that I'm also from the 80s where we always used to have those very special episodes of a show. Remember, like Saved by the Bell would do that one episode about meth or whatever. And so,
oh man, wow, they were early. They're ahead of their time. They're like, look, in 10 years, there's going to be this thing. It's called meth. At first, it feels really good, but then you lose your teeth.
Yes.
So
Exactly. That's the poster for meth. Teeth optional. But I'm saying, like, at least they integrated it enough into the story where it felt part of the story. It didn't make the episode seem like that one special episode where,
right.
like where it's the standout and the different. And so then that episode, is.
Yeah, that episode is like, oh man, this is like the sad episode. No, they have a couple other ones where they talk about like racism against like Native people. And they do it in a really thoughtful way too, where like these two white dudes are like touring Alaska and they're like, where are all the natives? They're like, right here. They're like, you don't look like natives. They're like, what? Like, no, I'm just kidding. They don't go that hard, but they're just like, yo, we're right here, fam. Like, what? We're authentic too. So
I hear that.
Anyways, yeah. So I love this episode, and it is not the Saved by the Bell meth episode. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones.
Or was it Speed? Maybe it was Speed.
It was Speed.
I mean,
yeah, Zach.
Okay,
thank you.
Speed. Okay.
Sorry, I got my
amphetamines
messed up.
In the 90s.
Oh my god. If they were like, look, you guys, there's this other drug called fentanyl. Okay, if you're gonna do it, just do it once, like I did. It's the best thing that'll ever happen to you, and then don't ever do it again.
Hey, I had my little taste of Fenty myself, fentanyl.
I did too, and I think we've talked about this. It's called during labor, and I do it again. I do it again.
Oh no, I had it during my colonoscopy.
Wow.
Okay, I'm about to go on that trip real quick. Let me get that colonoscopy, boo. You said fentanyl? Okay.
Yes, exactly. I was like, you guys need to see me next year, right? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Ooh, I didn't know they did that for that. Okay.
Well, the baby done woke up, so you'll hear some background noises of Miss Rachel.
Okay. Can we get a shout out from Elijah? Or no?
Say anything?
Hi, Elijah.
Say hi.
He's like, get that away from me. I'm trying to sleep.
He's like, come up with your own content, Mom. I'm not content.
I just want to let you. This
By the
is
way,
for
we're
you,
not
boy. This is for you.
Okay, so let's get into this last clip, which is Molly playing her song with Tui, and then Grandpa joins in.
Seiga sodelitsi, Seiga sodelitsi, la hela hode.
La ella están. Hey, hoo, hey, 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 hey. Alia, oh, hey, hey, hey. Hey, hoo, hey, 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 hey.
And we're back.
This is probably an inappropriate critique, but I kind of wanted them to sound a little better singing wise. It was a beautiful moment, but I felt like if she's planning a whole performance, I thought that they would be able to sing, including the granddad, because he was like, Granddad hasn't sung in so long and he used to sing all the time. but he was kind of below average. I don't know. I was expecting a better voice. That's all. I love the moment. It was beautiful, but I'm like, singing
That
is
is
not on
They
point.
they hyped Grandpa up. They hyped him up. They were like, he was a great singer. Like, yeah,
That's like
I
the
agree.
blackest thing to say is to just like critique somebody's singing. Like, wow, they couldn't harmonize though.
It just
Now,
wasn't.
meanwhile, their voice was taken from them.
It fell flat. Boom, boom, you know.
Oh my god.
I have to agree. I was really expecting like a very moving, full performance, and this felt like 5 minutes of just like the best they could do at that moment.
Wow. The harshest critiques ever.
That's the only
See,
place I have a critique, though. So yeah.
this is the Disneyfication of our children's entertainment, because Disney would have gave us full performance. They would have gave us 5, 6, 7, 8. There would have been
I know.
fireworks.
That's
Some
true.
Frozen stuff. Some Frozen stuff.
Exactly.
I know. They would have given us professional singers. They would have given us an ice skating rink. They would have given us so much. But that's not what this is. This is PBS Kids, you guys. As a reminder, this is on PBS Kids. This is a publicly funded cartoon, okay? With the help of Target, by the way.
So we know you kind of nearly cried
I
at
did.
this moment, right?
I did. Every time I listen to this, it just, and again, I know my kid is not understanding this. She's 3, but I'm just like, yo, this is so deep. And every time I hear the music, now granted, the music don't hit me like, oh, Whitney Houston, I will always love you, but it definitely hits me because I'm just like, yo, like, this is your songs that you couldn't sing for like 50, 60 years, maybe even more than that. That's a beautiful thing. So yes, every time I watch it, and I've watched this like 3 or 4 times now, every time I watch it, I tear up at the end. I'm like, yo.
You're so evolved. You're just, you're just
I'm trying to sing better than you guys.
Hey, the years of watching these shows has turned me cold. My heart is stone.
That's that Disney, boo.
Yeah, Disney got me.
Yeah. So, okay, I feel you guys' critique. I hear you. I hear you. Which gets us into our, what we call our Black Mama test. Yeah, let's get into it. So we have 3 questions that we ask. Our first question is, did it hold our kids' attention?
Well, my kids didn't watch it.
That's fair.
Because I'm telling you, they are at that different level now where it's like TV is they watch Bunked and all these other stuff. I mean, like I said, in Victorious they do full performances with songs originally. Yeah.
Jeez.
So Victoria Justice. But I think if I can think back to the time when my kids were younger and were probably the target audience of this show, I would say they probably half watched it, half didn't. Just because I think that it didn't have enough moving parts, right? Like the animation was a good pace for someone like an adult, but I don't think it was like shiny or bright enough for little kids.
Yeah. I'm going to have to agree with that. Like, I feel like it was written for me. Straight up.
I think it was too. It sounds like it.
It's written for the parents. Honestly, like there's a big part of it that's written for the parents. Molly of Denali does not have a lot of music, which is like the thing that can hold my kid for an episode that's like 10, 15 minutes. Like the music's going to hold her. And if you don't have the music, which they kind of had, but like it was at the end, and it was not Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You, as I mentioned. It's very, the beats, the native beats. So
surprisingly, he watched most of it. He was fully engrossed for most of it. And I don't know, maybe it was a time of day. I don't know. But he watched most of the show.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if he would watch any more of it, but he sat down for at least 10 minutes.
That's impressive. Okay. So our next question is heroes or sidekicks? This is the part where we assess if the kids of color are centered in the show, get to solve the problem, or have the adventure. Hot take.
I mean,
Yeah, I think they did a good job on that one. She is center of show.
yeah, she pushes
Yeah.
the story forward, all the things. And her best friend is also Alaska Native. And I think she has a black friend on
And she does have
another.
a black friend. Yeah, she has a black friend from Texas.
Oh, nice.
And I
Which I really
appreciate that. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
And I appreciate they're using what is it called? Those skills that you get when you like
Social
logical
emotional?
skills. Logical skills. Like they looked at the picture and like they were making like real assumptions from that, because as an adult that works with a lot of other adults that don't have any of these social cues or abilities to like logically make assumptions or make logical decisions in their lives, I have to say I appreciate that they are pushing that forward. And as a person who works in HR in the future, I'm happy that these people are learning these skills now, because it is so frustrating. So I have to say, good job. Context clues. I mean, looking at a picture, background, mountain, smart.
Yeah.
And zooming in, like
zooming in on the picture. Yeah. Looking at the mountains, looking at the water tank. Like, come on, that's high level.
Nancy Drew level,
A skill that I think that some generations have lost. So I'm glad to see it's coming back.
Yes, I agree. Sidekicks, I love the cast, the ensemble of Molly Denali. It's super diverse. And yeah, and it centers Native people, which I am here for.
And shout out for Grandpa crying on TV. I feel like a lot of grandpa characters on TV are very stoic, so in touch with emotions. I'm happy. I was happy to see that.
That is very true. You don't see a lot of men crying. It's always women. Disney, I'm looking at you again. It starts with Disney. Wow, this episode's going to be like how awful Disney is, basically.
But one positive, I did eat at Tiana's / the New Orleans area in Disney. The food is awesome. I had some chicken gumbo and it was delicious. I know maybe not vegetarian nor vegan. Sorry about that. But for me as a meat eater, delicious. Seafood
I'm the
boil.
only vegetarian on this podcast, oddly enough.
Yes.
Seafood boil.
Ooh.
Disney.
I'm not mad. Okay. I'll have to check it out. Actually, no, I don't want to check it out. God, I hope she isn't into Disney.
Girl, it's coming,
I mean, there's no way.
You have no choice. It's coming and you have no choice.
Oh. Yeah, anything else you want to say, Chanel, about the Kids of Color ensemble, Molly Denali?
I think we kind of got it. Yeah.
Okay. Our third question is, was there an underlying message? Message. There's definitely a message, y'all. These colonizers really did a number, and we're only giving you 1% of what they did. Okay. That's the hot take.
For sure. I totally agree. There was a message under message under message. I felt like it was layered. But again, like I said before, I'm glad that it seems like this is opening the door to further education in the future about these kind of situations. So I was glad to see it. I mean, and I learned something. I didn't know about the braids and all that other stuff, so I learned something. So I think the message was there. And I think, as a kid probably watches this 16 times in a row, the message will stick.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's saying a lot about how trauma runs so deep and how it can affect you in many different, areas of your life. I mean, man just said, I'm not singing anymore. That's like what happened at the school, besides what we know on the surface. So it says a lot about how to process trauma, your triggers, all of the things.
Yeah, totally. I will also say one other thing that I love about this show. We mentioned it at the top of the show. There was a time where we were watching Molly Denali a lot, and my daughter was definitely saying Masi Cho a lot. And I think they use that, if I understand it correctly, it's like a hi, it's like a bye, it's like a thank you. It's a lot of things. And somebody who's Native would probably correct me, but it feels like they use it a lot. But I'm here for it. Let me learn some of the language. Let the language be archived for other kids, other Native kids to learn.
Yeah.
I'm here for that.
I think it also kind of says something about being understanding. Like when they gave the grandpa the drum and he was like, "No, I don't remember anything." They walked away. They didn't push him. They just kind of gave him space to like process. And as kids, I'm like, it's kind of surprising that they knew they shouldn't push him to have that kind of intelligence at that point.
Yeah.
Well, I also think that like using these kind of terms, like I referenced before with Dora the Explorer, they have the ability to like infiltrate like the culture a little bit, right? Especially little kid culture. Like you go now and you go up to someone and be like swiper, and they'll be like, no swiping, you know? So to hear these kind of terms, you kind of be part of the culture in large. I think that's really cool that Molly from Denali brings these terms in, and it does kind of archive them for future generations because, you know, they become catch terms or catchphrases, but I think it's cool.
Yes. Molly Denali.
I'd rather my child was saying, you know, the words that Molly Denali is saying than versus get her done.
Or all the words we shorten, like ovs and everything.
Yeah, right. Let's add to the canon in an educational way, y'all.
Exactly. And don't ask me anything about my Riz.
Dude, your kids are definitely older because I'm like, wait, what? What is swipe? I don't even know what that means.
To kind of like, I think just to kind of underline what you said, Tiffany, about the grandpa crying. Like we don't see men crying on TV, and so I think it's really not often, but so I think it's really good to highlight that it's healthy to cry. It was good for them to see.
Exactly. I mean, I think, and it wasn't just like one tear falling. It was a real. It was some real tears.
Yeah.
And I was, exactly. I was just like, okay, Grandpa. Like I kind of felt it, you know. And especially like I'm thinking back to a long time ago. There used to be like I think it was a commercial on TV where they had like a Native person and people were like littering. And they had like that one tear. So I was glad that it didn't like harken back to that kind of stereotypical thing. And it was like a
that
real.
guy was white.
Jules, they were all white, boo boo. Like
no,
there was like no Native actors, right?
Well, there were, but yeah, mostly they just did red face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah. No, thank you. Please do not put on makeup and talk with a deep voice.
Question. Have you seen Breakfast at Tiffany's?
Breakfast at Tiffany's? Like the old one?
Like
the 1980s one?
A long time ago.
I just recently, when you have a moment,
oh,
let's talk. The upstairs neighbor. The upstairs neighbor is like Mr. Hayashimo or Mr. Hayashima, and it is Mickey Rooney is the actor who plays him, and it is so stereotypical. So I was like, this was a famous movie?
That's the thing. It's like it's expected, but it's also like still shocking.
Shocking, yeah.
Dude, that's why you gotta have these like people on your creative team who are gonna stop you.
Thank you.
For making a huge mistake.
And my mom is like, Tiffany, I named you after Breakfast at Tiffany's because it was such a beautiful movie. And then I watched it and I was like, you named me after a high price call girl and her gigolo boyfriend living in a building with a man doing Asian face? I can't.
Whoa.
Wow. When you're ready. When you're ready.
When you're ready for that story, y'all. Okay, so we're going to move on to just the last segment where we grade the show. Let's give our grades. What's our grade, you guys?
I feel like I'm going to give my grade for Jules. I feel like you're going to grade it A++. So I'm the same, honestly. I'm A++. It was a beautiful show.
Yeah.
Solid A. I learned something. I would say maybe it could be a little faster paced or a little more shiny, but I get it and I liked it. It was fun. I don't know about the segment where she read emails. I don't know how that would draw a kid in, but other than that,
Oh, that's the issue that I've been talking about with these shows now. Like now that my daughter's been watching these Disney shows that are like action packed, the Molly of Denali pacing is slow. But you know what? PBS Kids on the app, on the phone app, that'll keep her attention. So there's always that. There's something about a phone, you guys. Don't judge me.
no
It's literally
judgment.
on right now. What he is glued to.
Probably the reason why your kid isn't screaming in the microphone right now.
Basically, yeah. So, well, you know what? This has been a really dope episode, and we're so happy that you've joined us, Tiffany. So thank you for giving us all the things, all the commentary, the laughs.
Thank you guys so much for having me. This was so nice. And nice to sit down and talk with people because I feel like I share so much about my kids to people who are probably like, it's enough.
They don't get
People
it.
who
They don't
actually
get
want to
it.
hear me versus people who are like, here she comes again.
Yes, Tiffany, we're so happy that you came on the podcast. You are always welcome back, boo.
Yes, please.
All right. When you guys are ready to talk about Caillou, I'm ready.
Woo! Okay. And Disney.
Oh,
We
yeah. Got to talk about it, Victorious. Yes.
All
Well,
right.
all right. Thanks, y'all, for listening to Mama Play That Again, dropping every Friday. So tune in soon. Bye,
All
y'all.
right.